action items to be considered by one motion. Items passed unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 2 is approval of the minutes of the July 18th meeting. Item 3 is approval of the claims. Item 4 from the county treasurer is approval to lift the tax suspension for initials DP. Item 5 from the county auditor includes A, receive auditor's quarterly report, and B, receive county reporter's report of fees collected. And item 6 from human resources includes A, approval of the memorandum of personnel transactions, and B, authorization to initiate the hiring process. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Radig. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. We're 3 minutes ahead of our set time, so we'll move to item 8 from secondary roads. Item A is approval of resolution establishing a speed limit on Correctionville Road.
Hi, Ben Kuzler, the Assistant County Engineer. Do you have any questions on the resolution? Just a little background, about a month ago, you did do another resolution closer into town where we put a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit and then a 45 up to the bypass bridge. So this is just be an extension of that.
I'll move the resolution. Second by Bittinger. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Item B is receive bids for pavement markings for 2023 and return them to the county engineer for review and recommendation.
Kyle's passing out the bid tabs for you to take a look at. We did have 3 bids. This is our annual maintenance paving program. I think in the backup this year, I sent out a map. If you have any questions on that, you can certainly give Mark a call. There's always time to add another road or another section. We do that quite frequently. The first bid is from Dakota Traffic Services. They do have a correctly signed bid bond. Their bid is $111,010. $111,010. Second one is from Iowa Plains Signing. They do have a correctly signed bid bond. Their bid is $208,000 and no cents. $208,000 and no cents. The third one is from Vogel Traffic Services. and they also have a correctly signed bid bond. Their price is $163,580. $163,580.
Is that all?
Yep, that's the three of them. It's
Move
pretty,
to receive.
Second motion by Radig. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
And do you want to look over Dakota's bid while we move back to our set time?
oh, I can see their unit prices are correct. The others are quite higher per
I'll
gallon.
just
So
go ahead and move to award to Dakota Traffic.
Motion by Radig, second by Nelson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick update. We poured a sidewalk today in Hornick.
Thank you.
So I expect by Friday that next Friday, all the sidewalks will be in and they'll be leaving town. So stop by and take a look at it. I think it looks good, even though it's taken a while, so.
Thank you.
You bet.
Move back to item 7. This is our set time for board administration. This is a public hearing and sale of property parcel, also known as 825 17th Street. Before we receive bids, the public hearing is now open for anyone wishing to speak for or against the sale of the property.
Hearing no one, Mr. Chair, I move that the public hearing be closed.
I'll second the motion by Taylor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. We're now open for bids. If anyone in attendance would like to give their name, address, and opening bid, please, at the podium.
Angela Godfrey. My address is 2933 Jones. I guess a bid 550.
550. Is there anyone else wishing to bid?
Hearing no one, Mr. Chair, I move that the property be sold to Ms. Godfrey for $550.
I'll second the motion by Taylor. Hearing no other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Heather will take care of you right there. Item 9 is reports on committee meetings. Mr. Radig, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Bittinger, second.
Only thing I have, oops, sorry, it's a little loud. Went to the zoning commission, and it was good to see one of our citizens in the rural district just set up a wind tower and to generate his own electricity. And so it's just good to see. We talked about last week about individual citizens taking forth initiative to take care of their own power needs, and so that got approved. And it was just good to see how that wind tower would. It's 100-foot high, but it would power his business on his property, and so. It's good to see our citizens just exercising their rights and freedom, so it's good. Thank you.
I'm aware of that matter. I'm glad it was resolved, and
Yeah, it was resolved and everything was good to go, so.
great. Thanks for attending. Hearing no other committee meeting reports. Item 10 is citizen concerns for anything not already addressed on the agenda. Are there any citizen concerns?
Doyle Turner, 2738 200th Street. I would like to say that I go to a lot of meetings, and I have walked in and people are talking about things that Woodbury County is doing, things like how you have dealt with the wind turbines, and your resolution has been a topic. In fact, I've had other counties ask for a copy of your final of the resolution that you passed last week. And I think that's where Woodbury County should be, is in the lead, and a county that other counties should look to for leadership. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was on the solar issue. To begin with, I was kind of like, well, why not allow solar into the rural setting? Why does it have to be an industrial? And the more I've looked at it, I agree that it's fine if an acreage wants to put up solar panels on their house or garage. That makes perfect sense. But it really is an industrial activity. It's not and if it's not an agricultural use, we have ground in our industrial park for those types of things. There is a lot of ground around those buildings that can be used, around those plants, that is a buffer that could be used for solar. But the other thing is, I think Port Neal is more full than what we realize. And I think down the road, we are going to have to add on to our industrial sites. And if you look at where the infrastructure is that would support these, they're in that area. And that's where we would want to keep them anyhow. So I think it only makes sense that if you want to add more ground for solar, just keep it in the industrial and increase the size of the industrial park to meet it. Because I think you're gonna need to increase it anyhow. So that would just be my suggestion on that. You have any feelings on that?
I guess, to me, if there's, ground on, somebody's acreage or farm where they, especially where there's terraces or ground that's not necessarily good for growing crop, or, I don't see why we would restrict them from putting up more solar than they need and selling energy myself. I mean,
The problem with like the terraces that you say, when you get in the hills, anytime with our lowest soil, anytime you funnel water into one spot and that is gonna come off of those solar panels at an angle toward that ground, it will cut unrelentlessly. Different soil types are different, but you take like Napier is one of our very good soils that can have a lot of hill to it. There is no clay in that Napier soil, and it is very subject to erosion whenever you funnel water into it in one spot. So that's why I would really like to see us keep it out of the hills especially. And for the most part, those areas don't have the infrastructure to support taking the electricity away from it anyhow. I wouldn't have any problem with it like on acreages and things for their own use, but it's not the right place for industrial.
I mean, we were just kind of talking earlier about
Sorry, we
how-
can't deliberate.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not really deliberate. I'm just saying out in the rural where, energy prices are a lot higher.
Yeah,
I think it just makes more sense for people out there to want to have solar because the payback is maybe 3.5 years where, in town, there's 7 to 10 year payback on solar. So, yeah, no, I'm not deliberating on anything as far as, I think we're just discussing a topic.
yeah. So,
Thank you.
There's nothing on the agenda that we're deciding on or voting on, and everything that's
Point of order, Mr. Chair, if the auditor is not
Yeah.
gonna sit at the seat and be the parliamentarian, if, as a citizen, he wants to address the board, I think that's appropriate, but otherwise, I'd look for the parliamentarian to rule on that's sitting. So,
Not to kick you off, Doyle, but are you?
yep, thank you.
For your concern. Are there any other citizen concerns? Hearing none. Item 11, any board concerns?
not so much a concern, but I just want to commend, with Ragbri coming in, the city of Sioux City and the county, the chamber, the initiative, the committees that gathered together. The amenities were just non-parallel, if that's a word, unparalleled. Hotels, restaurants, food trucks, the porta-johns, I think we put our best foot forward. I know several of us opened our homes, and so I think we had a great face forward for our community. So just wanted to say that and make sure that was public. So.
It's non-parallel.
Yeah, there's a council of non-parallel.
Not to mention all the volunteers that,
Yeah.
came forward, like you say, people giving up their yard, their home, their bathrooms, there's a lot of volunteers helping direct traffic, and seeing that traffic jam that has been all over the news promoting, how many people are on Ragbri, as far as a record bike trail type ride. That's pretty impressive to see that the shots that are being portrayed are the ones leaving Sioux City, so.
Yep. Any other board concerns?
The only thing I have is talk with Will Doherty from Mid-America. If we wanted to do a tour of the solar generation site Mid-America has down by Port Neal, he just said let him know. If we want to learn more, see what they're doing, what are their plans, see how we could build that or work with them. So anyhow, he just said it's available. Just let him know if we want a tour of that facility and the technology and what's going on down there. So
Okay.
that's all that I have.
I do have something else here too with Simcoe's quarterly reporting. Michelle Bostonellos had asked me, are we still doing that? And I was digging into it, and in the past, in our budget process, Gleiser had a contract that would be renewed every year when we would pay the half for the rural cities. Then we would ask for quarterly reports, but this last time, I don't think we actually had a contract, so that's why there's no quarterly reporting. And basically, I guess moving forward, if somebody from the board would like to see that there continue to be quarterly reports, you might want to, do that at budget time, bring that up. But typically, I'm on Simcoe's board and meet with them monthly and get reports monthly. If there's anything you needed to know, I guess, impact-wise, if you wanted to come to me or talk to Michelle too at any point, we can fill you in. And of course, their, meetings are all public too, so.
Any other board concerns? Just an FYI for the board, just to kind of tie up the discussion we had on with the LAC Authority on the shed, maintenance shed / county services building. I believe that the LAC Authority can and should complete the project as stated in the existing agreements and simply complete what is allowable within their budgetary constraints. And I think the board can look at its own needs in that area if necessary as a separate future project. No comments needed, just wanted to put that out there since I know there's been a lot of crosstalk, so. Any other board